Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel. If you've managed to somewhat sleep last night, then you did a better job than I did. I managed 3 hours and then ordered a 4-shot coffee this morning and realised that, well, as much as we can react to the Thomas Tuchel sacking, there is still progressive Chelsea news to be attending to. And that news is that Graham Potter is looking like the favourite to become Chelsea's new manager. We are going to go straight in with the news. But before we do that, I do want to ask you guys to subscribe to this YouTube channel. There have been loads of videos prior to this one discussing the Tuchel sacking, my reasons why I think it might have happened, why I actually thought it might be the right call despite my sentimental feeling towards loving Thomas Tuchel as a manager and maybe thinking it is very unfair on the manager. With that being said, we've got to move forward. We've got to look at this new Todd Boehly era and really understand that if it wasn't for VAR, then Thomas Tuchel might still be in a job. We might have beaten Spurs if VAR would have actually acted the way it should have done. The boys over on the Last Fan Standing channel with Bet Victor, they were talking about VAR this week. We're going to listen to what Lee Judges has to say.
VAR, I can't have it no more. It is ruining the game of football. It is not fact. Let's get this out in the open now. VAR is not fact. It's fact when it's goal line technology, but when decisions come, free kicks, penalties, handballs, it's a decision of a ref. And what they're doing now is making a decision go to another ref. And it's what's happening is you've got the inexperienced referees that are refereeing the games now to the old ones that are, and they're too scared to make decisions.
And I can completely concur and agree with everything. In a hypothetical world, if the people managing VAR and the referees in English football were actually even semi-decent at their jobs, Chelsea would have beaten Spurs, and maybe we wouldn't even be sat here discussing any of this Thomas Tuchel news right now. The link is in the description. Go and check out the episode of Last Fan Standing over on the Bet Victor channel. Subscribe to them, and I think I'll be back on the show next week. So, let's take a little look at this tweet from Nick Purewall. The new Chelsea FC owners thought to be confident of selling their vision of a long-term operation to Graham Potter. Despite Thomas Tuchel's quick sacking, the CFC chief still determined to install a coach for the long run and build the new era around the manager. So, what we always knew when Boehly came in is that Todd Boehly is looking away from the Roman Abramovich hire-fire model. You can argue that, oh, well, you can say that, but like, look at what he's gone and done now, and in 2 years' time, he might do the same again. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. We might sit here now and I might say, because to be honest, as much as we can be frustrated or disappointed that Boehly didn't really give Tuchel a fair amount of time to resurrect the situation that Tuchel got this club into right this second, in terms of the way we're playing and performances, whatever results. I think that Boehly is organic in the way that he tries to sell this vision to us fans. There are a lot of people right now who don't believe it, because why would you believe it? Because the way that Roman Abramovich did things is exactly like this, and you can even argue that this is even more brutal from Todd Boehly than it ever was under Roman Abramovich. However, I think that this decision has been made a long time prior to this bad run of results. I think Chelsea were waiting for the right opportunity to let Tuchel go, and after a lot of bad results, this is the time to do so. But I don't think the decision was made even after the Leeds game, even after the Dynamo Zagreb game. I think it was done before. Now, Jason Burt from The Telegraph has said that Thomas Tuchel was shocked at being told no one gets into work at 9:30 in the morning or gets called up for work, and they're like, you're right, Geese, by the way, clear your desk, get out. Thomas Tuchel was shocked, and of course, when he wasn't offered that new contract that was rumoured to be offered a few weeks back, we were thinking maybe Tuchel would extend for another 3 years under the Boehly regime. He turned down approaches for Barcelona and Manchester United last season. The results have been poor and we need to change things immediately. I'm not saying I'm happy about this. I have said many times in the last few videos, I think it might be the right call. That doesn't mean I'm happy. I'm not one of these guys that's like, yeah, come on, Tuchel's gone out the door. Tuchel loved Chelsea. He had a rapport with the fans. I love Thomas Tuchel and I always will. I want to make that clear because some people just don't seem to get that part. Rejected Barcelona and Man United. He'll receive an €8 million payoff And of course, will probably get himself another big job again in the future, but will take some time off to basically reflect and probably deal with the other things in his life that he's not been able to deal with as best as he could have done as a result of the roles that he's had to do at Chelsea that he evidently wasn't so happy about. So Matt Law has also tweeted with his 5 reasons, which slightly a bit different to the ones I did yesterday, but of course, as with all these videos, it is just my opinion. Matt Law says results and performances, not just to blame. That clarifies why it wasn't just the Dynamo Zagreb result. Tension since the tour and communication dried up between Boehly, Clear Lake Capital and Tuchel. This is always an issue, and I think Tuchel under Abramovich, even though it ended very abruptly with Roman Abramovich having to get rid of the club due to the sanctions, Thomas Tuchel, if you're not communicating with the new owner, I think Tuchel would have been aware that if communication isn't there and communication dried up, maybe you're not part of the plan. So the demeanour of Thomas Tuchel on the touchline and this burnt out feeling and vibe that we got from Tuchel is probably a culmination of the limbo that he might have emotionally felt in from not believing that Boehly saw him as that manager for that vision and long-term plan that Boehly has so heavily sold about the way he's going to run Chelsea Football Club. Players unhappy with decisions, desire for a long-term head coach, and the need to buy in to the new culture. This new culture thing is the one that I'm feeling a bit ambiguous about, because we need to see new culture with actions. And you can argue both sides of this coin with new culture means that we can't keep sacking managers every 5 minutes. But if Tuchel's not the right one for this new culture and the boss, then the right one's got to come in. So this is where we lead into discussing Graham Potter, who has apparently been reassured that if he were to take the Chelsea job, he will be given time to try and bring the ethos and football structure that both he and the club wants. This is why I'm confident at the time of making this video, which is about 4:25 in the morning UK time. I'm that confident, I've also recorded a tier list video talking about player safety under Graham Potter at Chelsea, be it safe, unsafe. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you do, get the notifications on so that when that video drops in a few hours, you'll be able to watch it and it won't drop if Chelsea suddenly U-turn and end up with Pochettino, Zidane or Brendan Rodgers as a bloody manager. So obviously Graham Potter has spent his time at Brighton delivering a footballing philosophy that is a result of the work that he's actually put into himself as a person. Graham Potter, when it comes to managerial experience, when you look at, I think Östersund was a job that he had. He managed at Swansea as well. And now he's obviously become one of England's best managers as a result of his time here at Brighton and Hove Albion. I think what we need to understand about Graham Potter, Chelsea are not just buying into the fact that he's overachieved, many would say, with the squad and financial availability that he has at Brighton. You're buying into this word ethos with Graham Potter. And as a result of all of the stuff he's done personally off the field, he also had a playing career. I think he played for Southampton in the Premier League, and I think I read somewhere earlier today that he came off the bench in that 6-3 win for Southampton against Man United in 96-97. So Graham Potter might not have the biggest background as an ex-player, but what you often find with managers, and I'm going to compare him to somebody here, and I don't know if you guys will like this or not. When you've got a manager who was a player but didn't necessarily hit these massive heights, I think managers like Jurgen Klopp, for example, find it a lot easier to develop their managerial style based on maybe their deficiencies as players. So Graham Potter might not have had the most flourishing footballing career, but what he has managed to do to be identified as one of the best managers whilst managing at a smaller club. No disrespect to Brighton, I really respect Brighton after they've proved me wrong so many times. And I also feel like a bit of an idiot for constantly saying that Brighton will do worse than they do, which could make you question whether or not I rate Graham Potter or not. But results are what we base things on, not my predictions. Graham Potter coming in. It is being reported that he will also bring 2 of his backroom staff with him from Brighton, including a recruitment specialist, which makes things even more confusing as to how and why Chelsea have sacked Tuchel so early, when if that is the way that it's going to be, then clearly Graham Potter coming to Chelsea means that he doesn't believe that the recruitment structure at the club is the best one right now. If he's bringing a specialist with him, yeah, maybe that can work with people at the club, but a lot of the other rumours were that since Marina Granovskaya confirmed that she was leaving Chelsea, tensions ran high in the club because she was a respected figure. She did manage the transfer side of things. And with Boehly spending £255 million, this is not something that we can expect every single transfer window. So Graham Potter bringing his recruitment specialist with him. This all fits with this knowledge and understanding that Graham Potter's being brought in, not just to be a 2-year manager. We've got top 4 aspirations this season, but I'm going to make a prediction now. If Graham Potter gets this Chelsea job, I think there's a lot of people right now questioning Boehly's integrity with the way that he talks about a long-term vision. Graham Potter has a vision and a footballing ethos that I believe Chelsea would benefit from if he's given the time. If it doesn't go well by the end of the season and we hire and fire again, then is when we should start seriously questioning the vision, integrity of this new ownership. Until that point, the reason I've been positive regarding this sacking is because a few months ago, I didn't know if we were going to have a club. And Todd Boehly's come in, and so far, up until this point, I think he's acted rationally, and I think he's done everything he can to put Chelsea, our club, in the best possible position. So, it's going to be a couple of years until we know whether or not this was legit. If Chelsea are down in 12th and Potter doesn't work, of course he's going to get fired. But at the end of the day, every business has a vision, and again, I say business very, very lightly here, but we've got to remember Boehly's a businessman. Every business wants to make a shit ton of money. Every football club wants to reach the Champions League and then maybe lift a trophy. If we get further away from that, he will be sacked again. Then we can question just what that vision is. At this point, as much as I'm disappointed that Tuchel's not the manager because I love the guy, things haven't gone well. We have declined. Graham Potter is the favourite, and I believe by the end of today, we will know if he will be the new Chelsea manager. And my prediction is he will. If you enjoyed this news video early in the morning when you wake up, please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to GBFC if you are new around here and haven't already done so. Come on, you Blues.